What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets Radio. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. We posted all the information about our tailgate. It's all over our social media. So for whoever's going down to Carolina, feel free to join us. There's all kinds of options. There's an option for if you're bringing your children where it's just food and no alcoholic beverages. There's one with just beer and wine. There's one that includes hard liquor, all kinds of stuff, and they have a full buffet too. And it's, all inclusive. So once you pay for it, you get it. There's no cash bar, nothing like that. So if you could join us, that'll be great. Also, Saturday night, we'll try to arrange something where, it seems like there's a lot of cool breweries and pubs down there in Charlotte. So we'll probably try to figure out one place we could have some kind of group meetup at like 6 o'clock. So everybody wants to get some food or drinks. I was going through social media yesterday, just checking out all the opinions on the New York Jets. And obviously, as the season starts, everybody has their expectations. And, as a longtime fan, I understand the notion of the frustrated fan that's like, I'm tired of rebuilding. I'm tired of just saying, we're not going to be competitive. We're not going to have meaningful games in December, and we're not going to be competitive. And I understand all of that. But I also understand what the Jets are as an organization. Last year, they were arguably one of the worst teams in football on and off the field in terms of talent, just the overall roster, the coaching staff, everything. One of the worst. So in order to get back, now, again, I understand the rebuild with Todd Bowles. I understand the rebuild with Adam Gase. I understand all of it. I understand it sucked and it didn't work out. That is really no effect on what we're going through right now. Unfortunately, it's a whole new situation, and there are going to be growing pains, and there are going to be learning curves, and at times it's going to be ugly. And that's just the fact of the matter. This Jets team is flawed, and they're flawed because it's just inexperienced, it's youth. They're probably going to have, 20 players on a team that are first and second year players? Look at the defense alone. You're probably going to start, 2 rookie linebackers. You're going to have your slot corners be very experienced, inexperienced. If it's Guidry or Michael Carter, young. Both your outside corners are ridiculously young. So that alone is it's going to be tough. And then you add in the fact it's a whole new coaching staff that's trying to implement their scheme. There's going to be some rough patches, but we got to just understand that and kind of have faith. Have faith, and that the team is doing the right thing. For me, after watching Saleh for the first couple months, I'm ridiculously impressed. I think they have a true blueprint. I think they have a vision. I think they have quality, legit football guys in place. I think Mike LaFleur is very good. You could see the difference and the schemes just in the preseason. But unfortunately, it's going to take time. It is. So for me, when everybody asks, what about your Jets? Can they sneak into the playoffs at 10, 9 wins? Of course, we want to believe that. And come week 1, we're going to be rooting our asses off. And that's going to happen every week. We're going to hope and say, you know what? Let's give them our best shot. Maybe we sneak and win 8, 9 games this year. For me, I will continue to think it's a 5 or 6 win team. And that doesn't really bother me. Because now I kind of think that in years past, you want to buy into certain programs. But in the back of our mind, we knew it wasn't going to work. We knew the Gay stuff wasn't going to work. Even with Todd Bowles, when you're constantly changing coordinators and your team is quitting and you have dissension in the locker room, all stuff, the writing was on the wall there too. And it's unfortunately in football, a lot of teams, they don't cut the bait. Well, especially the Jets, they don't cut the bait when there's a red flag. They kind of try to ride it out and see what's going to happen. So unfortunately, they didn't cut bait at the right time. Here we are. So now we are, rock bottom, trying to build our way back up. And like Bill Parcells, he always says, when I remember it was 1997 or 1998, his process was take another step. I think he even made shirts take another step or another step, something like that. So this year is going to be a big step for the Jets, but that may not, equal a lot more wins. That, a big step, if you're being honest, if you go from 2 wins to 6 wins, that's a big step, especially in this NFL. But to me, my expectations are I want to see just quality football. I want to see all these young guys competing. You want to see maximum effort. You want to see the team make adjustments. And most importantly, my biggest expectation for this year, to be completely honest with you, is developing Zach Wilson and this offense. And that is priority and job number 1 for this organization. Get this kid comfortable, get him in sync, let him improve week in and week out. And by the end of the season, we're now we know where we are as an organization. Because right now it's like a blank canvas. We're trying to develop all this, we're trying to develop an offense, develop our playmakers and Elijah Moore. We're trying to develop Zach Wilson and Michael Carter. On defense, we're trying to find starters. So by the end of the season, my expectation is we have a lot more answers than we have questions. And right now we have a lot of questions if we're being legitimately honest with ourselves, especially on defense. Especially after Carl Lawson got hurt, and Vinny Curry, and Jared Davis. So for me, as a Jets fan, I understand it's going to say, be patient and try to embrace the process. Listen, enjoy the highs and understand the lows is my personal opinion. Like, even week one, there's already all this hoopla about, Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold and all this stuff. The one thing everybody's going to keep in mind, the Carolina Panthers, this isn't year one of all their staff being there. It's year one of Darnold being there, but they're a more accomplished franchise right now in terms of where they are and their rebuild and where they're going. So if the Jets go in there and say, and they lose, they lose. It's like if Sam Darnold outplays out Zach Wilson, so what? It's one game, the first game of the year. Like, I'm not going to be hearing all these overreactions like, I can't believe we don't have Matt Rule. We should have him instead of, we should have Matt Rule instead of Saleh. We should have Darnold instead of Wilson. Listen, you go in excited. You want to see the Jets have a phenomenal effort. You hope they win. You want to see a lot of good things. If it doesn't happen, it's not an indictment on anybody. It's the first step of a rebuilding process that's going to take time. And it's not an excuse. I'm not trying to, downplay things. It's just being realistic. And it's, for some, I guess they don't want to say that. They want to make a fan, well, no, we got to win this game. It's a must win. Listen, man, when you're trying to accomplish so many things, and even Saleh said it today in his press conference today, like, there's going to be so many things we're learning as a first-time staff. And a lot of times, I don't think we realize that. Like, it's not like you're coming in where you have a veteran head coach, all these guys are in place, everybody's, kind of in sync. No, you have all new coaches. A lot of them are the first time at their spot. LaFleur, first-time coordinator. You have a first-time quarterback coach. You have a lot of different things that are just all offsets it. So my expectations, especially early on, it could be a little rough. But I have a lot of faith in the staff to make adjustments and learn from it. And even Saleh talked about that. We're just like learning about time management, roster management, clock management, all these different things. You learn little bits in the joint practices. You learn a little bit when they're preseason. But once the regular season starts and everything is 10 times faster, you learn on the fly. And they're going to be doing that. So it could be good and it could be bad. But that's going to be the part of this team, the roller coaster ride. And the roller coaster ride's not going to surprise me. I expect it. And I hope a lot of fans do too. Because, as much as we all want to be, very competitive in the AFC East, if it doesn't happen, but Zach Wilson's playing great and the offense is much improved from last year, and you can see, what? We're only a couple steps away from being a 9 or 10 win team next year. Or you can say, what? If we can add one or two more players here, we're going to be at that level. If we can feel like that in December, it's an accomplishment for me. That's kind of how I feel about it. Now, obviously, if they go out and win 10 games, I'll be on the bandwagon supporting it. I just don't. Me personally, I don't see that happening. And I'm ready to embrace this whole thing and try to enjoy it when we can. Enjoy the fact that we have a young quarterback on the rise. He's got a lot of potential. Enjoy the fact this team is all buying in. They're all young. They're very, very united. There's no egos. There's no problems. There's no drama. Everybody's bought in. Now it's just a matter of maximizing all their talent and getting their best effort. And hopefully his coaching staff can do the same thing too. And we can get the best out of our coaches too. So I'm not sure if it made a lot of sense. I kind of rambled, but we'll be live Monday and Tuesday night. As the roster cuts happen, we'll discuss those as well. And I'll talk to you later.